What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a Black Clover Chapter 303 review. Alright, so this chapter is called Good News. Now, these are the fans' translations. We do have to wait for the official ones to come out, and I'll do a breakdown when we get those. But the chapter is called Good News, and it picks up with a flashback of Nozel holding Noel after Vonica and Megicula had cursed Aesir Silver. And so we go on to find out that, after the curse, Aesir Silver grew weaker and weaker over the course of a year, and she was pretty much bedridden the rest of the time. Now, we do get as far as a confirmation that Nozel was actually cursed as well, and if he would tell anybody, not only would he die, but the same curse would affect anyone who he had told, spreading like an infectious disease. And so we find out that, this whole time Nozel's trying to get stronger, in the course of a year. He gets this dialogue with his mother, and his mother's just all like, look, you've done enough, you need to live, strength doesn't come easily, it's gonna take time. And she's like, I assure you that you all will become stronger than me someday, so Nozel live. And we see as far as this panel in all black, and it says, mother died 1 year after she was cursed, a year where I could do nothing but helplessly watch. And you see that he's biting down so hard on his lip that it's bleeding, and then we get as far as Aesir's funeral, and we see the cross that he's always wearing, on her tombstone, her tombstone, and it says, be strong, I have to be strong, Nozel says, so that way one day I can defeat mother's enemies and protect my siblings. So we see as far as, more confirmation on why he treated Noel the way that he did, and we get a flashback, we get this inner dialogue of what's going on in Nozel's head. He blames himself for the death. He feels, it's all his fault. And because of that, he was pushing as far as Noel away because he didn't want to lose her as well. And he just kept on, stating he has to become stronger. We get these different flashbacks where he's just all like, I have to become Wizard King, where he gets messed up during the elf arc, and he's like, I can't die in a place like this. And then him, dominating Patri, and he's all like, I've fought powers like theirs, all for the time you make your return. And then you see that during this particular arc, you see he was tending to something. We don't know what yet, but it looks like he gets a sense that Megicula is there. And that's when he comes flying over, basically, and then we get this panel of Charlotte, Will, Asta, Lola Pacheca, Gaja, Luck, and Nozel's all like, right now, I'd like to thank you all for being here, and I think that's something that is looked over when I look at some of the reviews. I mean, it's looked at, but it's kind of not talked about. And this panel is very, very important for all those that were involved, because everyone's used to seeing Nozel as this kind of, for him to say thank you, like a royal, saying thank you. I feel like that was a big, now people have said, there's a lot of character development that Nozel has gone through, but I don't think there was a lot of focus as far as the importance of this panel. I feel like their faces were the way that they were, not just for him being there, but I feel like also for just that genuine appreciation that he gave to all of them, and so we get this statement, like, from Nozel, like, I will put forth, all my strength for this. And yo, Nozel goes all the way in, and it's important, the dialogue, which we have to wait for the official translations to come out so that way these can be verified, but we have to pay attention to Megicula's dialogue. She's like, is this what you call an emotional reunion? Regretfully, devils do not harbor such feelings. And we get this other flashback that's all like, you have the toughness of steel and the gentleness of water, and yo, freaking Nozel's going in. He's literally shredding Megicula to pieces. And Megicula's like, even so, it's not enough to break the heart of a supreme devil. And then you get this panel. Nozel was like, I really was ... wrong. You shouldn't have been locked away. We should have become stronger together. And Nozel comes up in her Valkyrie form, and she's like, this victory belongs to the humans who refuse to give up, and drops a cross, just like her mother's cross, on Megicula's heart. Now Megicula says, I was cautious, but I never thought I could actually be defeated by humans. I must have overlooked something, ... It seems I've become interested in the strength of human emotions. So this is the power of humans, and you see, as far as these curse runes disappear, you start seeing, crumbling, and the spirit comes out of it. And we find out that spirit is none other than Asir Silver's spirit. And she's like, you two truly have become strong. And she hugs them. Oh my goodness, I know everybody's been feeling the feels as far as this chapter. It's just, Noel she was a baby, when she died. And they both have these tears. And it ends with Noel and Nozel having these tears down their eye. And it says, the end of a long and bitter feud, ... Now, there was no exclamation mark there. There's no, and here's the thing, those 3 dots, we're gonna go into it. So, all in all, I thought this chapter was amazing. There were several things that were covered, i.e. Nozel was actually cursed as well. We get more into the inside of what happened to Asir Silver. It actually, over the course of a year, she got weaker and weaker. She was bedridden. Nozel tried as far as to, get stronger to do something, but for a year he can do nothing but helplessly watch. We get kind of what Nozel was doing in the castle. We just see him basically with 2 people that he's, defeated. And then we get what seems like a hint of a particular power, and then we see as far as him to where it is right now. Now, it was super dope to see Nozel going in, completely slicing up as far as everything known to man that he could of Megicula with his. I cannot wait to see that animated, because it is going to, I felt it just in the panels, let alone to actually see Nozel shredding Megicula to freaking pieces is gonna be insane. insane. So that was very, very dope. And then as far as this brother-sister combination attack, it was interesting that, and we got the panel where, Aesir was talking about, his power still, but, gentle like water. And then we see as far as this boom, Mercury, boom, water, basically combination attack where Noelle does her, her attack and boom, in the cross, so symbolic. There was also some interesting dialogue with Megicula. Now, here's my thoughts on things with everything. So, the elephant in the room. Is Megicula actually defeated? Now, we have to take into consideration, back in chapter, I want to say 298, the very first page, Noelle says, Megicula, how are you here? Only one of the gates of the underworld is open. And she says, the gates are insurance. My true goal is to manifest through the curse wording magic, malevolent femicartation. And the thing was that it required 3 souls. Now, I think that Megicula may have multiple souls, because we have to take into consideration Gordon's part in all this. It's not for nothing. Now, I feel like they defeated the soul that Aesir, they had the heart that Aesir's soul was residing in, but Megicula may have multiple hearts. She even stated that the gates are insurance. So the big elephant in the room is what's actually happening, because her heart was defeated. A heart was defeated. So we don't know. We gotta double check. Another elephant in the room is what's gonna happen with Real's magic. Those 2 elephants in the room, and because of that, there's other implications as far as Real's magic, like Gaja. Also, the other elephant in the room is what's gonna happen to Lolopachika. And I think that the reason why I feel like she has multiple hearts, honestly, she may have 3. I honestly think this may be like a Horcrux, like with Harry Potter and freaking Voldemort, with the Horcruxes and having yourself in multiple places. Because the thing was, she said she needed 3 same-sex souls, and she had one of them, and then of course with Vanica, and then the whole thing was Lolopachika. Now, what if, with the souls of people, she can manifest the way she does? So let me know. Again, this is Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. Peace.
Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take a few decades to decode. So I better get the work on. No need for second guessing, cause it was already written, or was it? Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Take control of what you can't control. Break out this handheld hell made digital. Behold the pale horses. I'm falling down the rabbit